As Vorden jumped into the red portal, he felt a tingling sensation all over his body. A few moments later, Vorden had arrived. He opened his eyes, and the first thing he noticed was the place was incredibly dark. Vorden then started to look at his surroundings. It was strange to see building structures around them. When there was building work, it would usually be Dalki structure, but this was clearly not Dalki-based. Aren't the red portals meant to be unsheltered planets? This place looks like a broken shelter. I think you are forgetting something, Rayton said. While orange may mean it's in the process of being taken over and sheltered being places, red can also mean it's too dangerous to build a shelter in the first place. You have basically given us a death sentence. What do you mean? Vorden asked. Are you really being so stupid? Sure, you might have run through that portal so you didn't kill your friend, but what's the point if we die instead? Then a thought came to Vorden's mind. Quinn. The portal was unable to send you to a pinpoint location, but it did put you in the same general area, at least within 10 miles of each other. For now, Vorden would look for a portal back to the Academy while also searching for Quinn. Somewhere on the same planet, Quinn had also arrived. His heart was beating rapidly as it was the first time he had experienced such a thing. Peter, what the hell was that? Quinn thought. Damn it, he must have pushed me through the portal. Where am I? As Quinn looked around, he could see the similar buildings around him all crumbled, torn, and fallen down. The place looked like a city had once existed, but had been left behind for years. However, there was one saving grace about the whole thing. On the planet it was currently nighttime, meaning Quinn didn't feel weak and had a better chance of surviving. However, before Quinn had even moved from the spot he was in, he spotted something from the corner of his eye. Quinn tried to follow whatever it was with his eyes, but it would constantly move around until it had eventually stopped, just underneath a pile of rubble from one of the buildings. Quinn started to back away, making sure to keep an eye on where he last saw the figure. Then, when he was a safe enough distance away, he finally turned around. In that instant, a sound could be heard from behind. Quinn immediately turned around and could see a horrible figure running towards him. It clearly wasn't an ordinary animal, and something he had only ever seen in books and TV. It was a beast. Suddenly, Quinn could hear the sounds of something scurrying towards him at an amazing speed. As he turned, the beast was now in full sight. When the creature was a few feet away, it leapt in the air, and claws appeared from the creature's two front limbs. Quinn, almost out of instinct, swiped his hand, letting out a blood swipe. The attack managed to hit the beast and sent it flying back. Name, Rataclaw. Basic tier beast. HP, ? Unlike with humans, when Quinn used the status screen, it would show their HP and blood type, but in this case, he had only received a name and the level of the beast. Seeing the tier of the beast, though, Quinn started to feel a little less frightened. The Rataclaw had recovered and charged straight for Quinn once again. Seeing how the blood swipe was effective, he waited for the beast to get close once again. Blood swipe! But Quinn had underestimated the speed and the responsiveness of the Rataclaw. Defense 1. Durability of weapon has decreased by 50%. Strength has fallen to 3. You little crap, get off me! Quinn shouted as he started swinging his arm. With the beast stuck to his arm, it was too dangerous for him to use blood swipe and too close for him to perform a hammer strike. All that was left was to do it the old-fashioned way. Quinn then started to repeatedly pound the beast on its head with his other hand. With each blow, black blood would gush out of the beast. The blows were powerful and damaging to the beast, and with each strike, the grip started to loosen. If you had just stayed away, you could have lived, Quinn shouted as he continued to punch the beast, until finally its grip had come loose, and it had fallen to the ground. Basic tier beast, Rataclaw, has been defeated. 100 EXP points gained. In a way, beasts were a gold mine for his system. Congratulations, you are now level 5. Race, Halfling. HP, 30 of 30. 40 of 1600 EXP. Strength, 13, 2. Agility, 15. Stamina, 12. Strength, 14, 2. But the system still had one more surprise for him. New skill unlocked. Blood spray. Cost, -5 HP. The skill reminded Quinn of a shotgun he used to watch from the old movies, where the small pellets would spread out, hitting multiple targets. The problem was the cost of the skill. 5 HP was a huge amount, and even with his blood bank, Quinn would have to be careful when using it. Quinn then walked up to the dead beast on the ground. He had punched the creature so hard in the skull it was indented and blood was leaking everywhere. Inspect. Rataclaw blood. If blood is consumed, is poisonous to the body. -1 HP for every millimeter of blood consumed. I wonder why my body only accepts human blood. The system had been oddly specific when his body started to require blood. This made Quinn think that even the blood of animals wouldn't work, even though some were red in color just like humans. Suddenly, though, the sound of something running was heard again. As Quinn looked up, the sight of 10 Rataclaws running in his direction. After struggling to face just against one, he knew he had no chance against 10. All he could do was run. He ran down the empty street, not knowing where he was heading. But the Rataclaws were fast and would soon catch up. That's when Quinn spotted a building, one that was far less damaged than the others. He went inside, but the space was still too large. He then spotted a stairway to his right nearby. After quickly running up the stairway and reaching the first platform, he stopped and turned. He knew he had no choice but to fight back. With his palm open facing downward, he was ready. Time to test you out. Standing on top of the platform, Quinn had a clear view of the giant rat-like creatures coming towards him. Blood spray! 25 of 30 HP. The 5 rats out in front were sent flying back and toppling down the stairs. There was no longer any space for Quinn to go up. He turned around and the rats were just starting to ascend the second set of stairs. He started swinging his hands out rapidly, aiming carefully at each rat. Blood swipe as the red claw-like lines left his hands. At the same time, he could hear multiple messages ding in his head. Rataclaw has been defeated. 100 EXP. 14 of 30 HP. The messages continued onward until eventually all of the rats had been killed. Quinn then fell to the floor on his knees, gasping for air. 5 of 30 HP. Blood bank has auto-activated. 30 of 30 HP. 50 milliliters remaining in blood bank. 1040 of 1600 EXP. Congratulations, blood swipe has reached level 2. This meant the remaining blood in his bank would last him a total of 10 days. He didn't know how long he would be on this planet, but he needed to be careful about using his skills. There were only 2 good things that had come out of the whole situation. The fact that his blood swipe skill had leveled up. The second good thing that had come out of this was the EXP he had gained. Quinn then walked up to the dead beasts on the floor. Using the tip of his gauntlets, he tore open the beasts. He searched around inside the chest, looking for a glowing crystal. It was a small, round crystal ball with tiny little bumps all over, and around the same size as an adult's fist. Basic tier beast crystal obtained. Would you like to store it in your inventory? Quinn selected the yes option, and suddenly the crystal in his hand slowly started to vanish away, and finally it had completely disappeared. Quinn then went to extract the crystals from the remaining 9 rats. The beast crystals could be used to turn into beast weapons or beast armor, but looking at the rat-like creature, Quinn had no idea what it could be used for. Even though the building he was in was safe, he was on a strict time scale and needed to find the portal back fast. As he looked around, all he could see were buildings that resembled human structures. That's when he spotted something. One of the buildings, without a doubt, had the same crest as the school he attended. So this really is a human shelter, but then why is it all ruined and destroyed? Quinn had recognized the building as they had one in the city he was currently in. It was the military storage room. It was where they kept all their high-end equipment, ability books, skill books, and beast weapons. There's a good chance the portal might be located in there. Unknown to the students at the school, there was currently chaos going on between the upper staff. Faye, one of the sergeants of the school, was walking down the hallway at incredible speed. Even though she was only walking, she was causing gusts of wind to hit the students as she walked past them. A single wooden door in the first-year building had a sign out front saying the words, General, on it. Faye barged the door open and quickly zoomed to Nathan's desk. The wind that came along with her caused papers to be flown and scattered all over the room. Hey, I was nearly done with that, Nathan shouted. The portals have been used, Faye shouted. 2 students seem to have been registered to have gone through them. Nathan started to pick up the papers that were scattered around the room, one by one. Is that all? Well, why don't you just go and get them back? I'm afraid it's because they have gone through a red portal, sir. Nathan then dropped all the piles of paper he had picked up from the floor. What? How did this happen? Weren't there meant to be guards stationed at the portal? Apparently there was a scheduling conflict. When the guards changed shifts, their replacements never arrived. Nathan then went to sit back in his chair as he struggled to think what to do. Stupid parents. This is why I said we should have cameras stationed in the school, but it was hard enough to allow them to get those trackers put on them. The original families had a big say in what went on and what didn't. Do we know which students have gone through the portal? The first one is the student by the name of Quinn Talon, and the second one is Vorden Blade. Him again? After the incident with the second years, Nathan decided to look into Vorden's family background a bit more, and if they were to find out, this would be bad news. Make sure his family don't learn anything. We have to keep this a secret for as long as we can. As class had started for the day, Layla noticed that Vorden and Quinn weren't in their seats. However, Peter was in his, and he had his head face down looking at the ground. "Hey, Peter, do you know where Vorden and Quinn are today?" she asked. "I didn't do anything," Peter snapped. "Huh? What?" Layla said, confused. "I was asking if you knew where Quinn and Vorden were. Did they not come back to the dorm room yesterday?" "Oh, sorry. Yeah, they were there when I went back," Peter said with his voice all shaky. "I don't know why they haven't come to class this morning." "They wouldn't miss today. We're meant to go out portal hunting as a team." Just then, Dell had entered the room. He didn't have his usual cheery face on, and instead had a bland, serious look. "I'm afraid that I have to inform you all that today's portal outing has been cancelled for now." Upon hearing the news, the students groaned and complained. "Quiet down," Dell said loudly. Aaron had then come over to where Layla was. "Yesterday, while I was walking by two students, they overheard the sergeant shouting at the general, something about two students going into the portals. My guess is that's the reason why this whole thing has been delayed in the first place." Layla then stood up from her seat and grabbed Aaron by the shoulders. "Don't you see? Vorden and Quinn have to be the missing students. No wonder Dell didn't say anything about them." As she turned her head, she looked Peter dead in the eye. As soon as Layla took a step forward, Peter got out of his seat and ran for it. "Aaron, we have to get Peter. He knows something. A person who isn't guilty doesn't run away for no reason."
Hi, Quinn here. Wondering what happens next? If you want to jump the queue and unleash all episodes, click on the link here and install the Pocket FM app.